Akai Force beat making. I'm going to just make something dope, man. I want to just open up, no stress, and see what I can make with the Akai Force. No stress beat making with plugins. So let's use Analog Dreams. You know, we're going to choose a chord progression and a pad, and we're going to get it cracking. What's going on, guys? It's your brother O.T.G, Charles Paris. O.T.G's for Overtime Grind. Real name, no gimmicks. Hardly seen, but I'm always around. And today I have my Akai Force. And right now I'm loading up some progressions. You could get those progressions from the Stimmy Pack or the Akai Force Masterclass. I'm going to use my O.T.G Smackers drum kit. And I'm just going to make a beat, man. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. Make sure you hit that notification bell. That way you could stay up to date with everything that I have coming. Check out the Akai Masterclass and everything I have down in the description from Gumroad if you want to support this channel. And the biggest thing you could do is just like, share, or comment. Alright, so right now what I'm doing is I'm starting with the chord progression. I'm just going to look for a simple melody that I like. I like this, so I'm going to tap it in while I'm playing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Alright. And then I'm going to go press record and then launch row 1. And this is going to let me just record until I want to stop. So I want a quick loop right here. Once I hit launch, it's going to loop. Make sure you check out their preferences video. So if you are automatically making loops or going through and having some issues, go to that preferences force video that I made and you can set your preferences exactly the same. You could also see how you could start your force with the sounds menu first. Alright, and now I just long pressed on number 2 at the bottom and we loaded up another track. I just loaded the Smackers kit, so you can see that, the O.T.G Smackers kit. And I wanted to just press that, but we need to put a note first because I'm on step sequencer mode and it'll automatically make a clip to catch the information. Kind of a cheat code so you don't have to go and create a clip. Notice on the right hand side I had the bottom left pad selected so that way it played the velocity on how hard I touched the pads. That's in that preferences video, so you can get your pads tuned in and you could definitely get your different velocities right. You could get the O.T.G Smackers kit from my Gumroad. It's a kit I put together. It's a small kit, but big sound. I load it all the time. I use it all the time. It's great sounds that you can mess with the pitch and do some things with and get a lot of value out of. So now we're going to get our kick going. I'm just going to do a simple kick pattern. I want to have this whole beat done in 15 minutes. You know, I don't want to overthink it. That's part of what I wanted to say in making this specific video is don't allow overthinking to ruin your process of making music. You know, I know watching these videos, you could get caught up in the ins and outs and feeling like you need to know everything there is to know before you can make the perfect beat. But man, music creation is about just creating. And sometimes you never know if this is the perfect beat until you make it. And you'll never really know what you need to learn until you force through making some beats. So get out there today, make some beats on your force, man. Stop watching videos and trying to do impossible things all the time. And get out there and make some beats. That's part of my goal. My goal is I want to have a YouTube channel while everybody's talking about issues and problems and what things can't do. I just want to get on here every day and show you somebody making music, and you can see the process with yourself, for yourself. You can see it with no edits. You can see if there's bugs and robots. Bugs and robots is funny. I don't chop any of that stuff out, you know what I mean? So right now we're going to load the 808. You always have to remember that your notes are still on progression mode. So everything that I'm hearing right now is a chord progression trying to play on a mono source. And I'm on a step sequencer channel. So first thing I'm going to do is get out the step sequencer channel. I might want to step sequence my 808, which is something that, you know, it's an unlocked cheat code that you could step sequence all of your, some of your notes and different things. Maybe we'll go into those step sequencer modes a little bit more. So now we're going to move that down to scales. And we're just going to come up with a simple 808 bass line. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. Make sure you check out the Stimmy Pack. Make sure you check out the 45 plus expansions. Take your Akai force from skinny to a full standalone powerhouse. Check out the masterclass already with a couple hours of video. Every time I upload a video, you'll get an email, and you'll also get access to the O.T.G Stimmy Pack progressions, expansions, drum kits, samples, and more. Make sure you check out the Patreon. I finally am building onto the Patreon. I have one Akai Force project over there. That's where I'm going to start leaving projects. You can get all of that stuff down in the description. All right. So now we got only 3 tracks. And you don't need a bunch of tracks. You probably just want to use 4 tracks in this video. You know, a lot of times when I think about hip-hop music, I think about it in the most simplest of terms of sample, drums, bass. Sample, drum, bass. Well, right now, we don't have no sample. We created from scratch. We're just going to have the pad and the strings. And so between the pad and the strings, does it sound like a sample? No. And there's a bunch of other things that we could do to it. Like I could go and add, different effects. And we could try to make it sound like a sample. You know, we could resample it down, bring that back in, and utilize that. You know, there's a lot of ways that we could try to make it sound like a sample, but I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do is just keep that thought process in mind and not go overboard with sounds. One thing about a lot of your favorite rap songs is, you know, there's not too many variations. The drums rarely change. Sometimes it's the same drum pattern the whole entire song. Sometimes they never even turn the drums off. It just switches from, it might have a couple of mutes in there, but overall everything plays from start to finish. a lot of times there aren't too many breaks. And that's because people are trying to rap. If you're selling beats for people to rap to, then, you know, the artist needs a consistent beat to kind of tell them where to go. You know, they're not really looking for 1,000 drop-offs and a bunch of different things like that in order to make a song. They really are just looking for something they can nod their head to that has a pocket that they could fall into and they can create. So now we're just going to copy out. I have my pads set on launch mode, so that way I can see what's on the matrix on the pads, and now we could get prepared to arrange. I like to use the deductive method. So we take off one part, copy it to another. You know, in a lot of my videos, I'll show you that we use this method to get it started, and then we might go through and just automate the mutes and pad mutes. But today, I don't think I'm going to even do all that. I'm gonna look at the clock. We got 11 minutes. I want to get this whole beat done. This whole skeleton of an idea, I want it done in less than 15 minutes. We're going to hit shift and record, and now we're going to record our arrangement. In 11 minutes, we're already arranging. You know, so the idea is to feel free and to create freely without barriers. The only barriers you put are the barriers you put on yourself. You know, and sometimes you might have to make a warm-up beat in order to get to the sound that you're looking for. And sometimes, you know, the craziest thing that I found is beats like these that I make super quickly, they're always like the last beats that I'll play whenever I go out or I do anything. And I find it funny that it's always these are the beats that people end up liking and loving. So you should have a bunch of different beats that you make. Some you spend hours on, some you spend days on. And then you should have some where you just turn your machine on because you got 15 or 20 minutes of free time and get on there and create freely. You know, don't absorb the problems of other people's experience into your creation and creating. You know, I feel like that's the major key. I never let somebody else's gripes about the beat machine or problems they have sour my outlook on the machines that I have, because we're all different and what we're trying to do is different. You know, the end goal is that we want to produce, but how we get to that end goal is different per person. So for me, I may have a different experience than what they have. And one thing about Charles, I'm going to try to have my own experience first before I summarize or give my opinion. And I love the Force. It runs great. I'm sorry for all the people who may have issues, but this is 3.5 beta. You know, I'm looking at the clock. We're about 14 minutes in, and we're arranged and done. And so from start to finish, you know, we didn't really look at anything. We didn't really do too much of anything. We just started, found our melody, step sequenced some drums, found the 808, threw some strings on there to signify intro, chorus, and pre-chorus. Created some simple drop-offs with the drums just to help accentuate different parts of the beat and drive it forward. And look what we got here, guys. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. It's brother O.T.G with another Akai Force video. Check out the Akai Force Masterclass. You can check this video out with no commercials. You can get access to the progressions, to this drum kit, and tons of excuse me, tons of other stuff. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. Have a great day.